I don't see a ceasefire coming right now, and this is what concerns me. Because this is, for me, the signal that we will continue seeing the suffering and the death that we are already seeing on the ground. And we cannot wait for months. As I said, this political solution has been in the making for many, many decades. Up to a certain degree, the international community has consistently failed in bringing this solution together. In the meantime, we see a deterioration of the humanitarian situation at levels that surpass any moral, any legal, any humane standard. Let me put it differently. Humanity is failing in Gaza and the whole world is watching.
The ICRC remains a key player in facilitating the movement and hostages of detainees inside of Gaza. And in a statement, the ICRC has said, quote, "We reiterate our call that until the hostages are released, the ICRC must be granted access to all the hostages, access, you say, that has been withheld so far." Now, your organisation has been heavily criticised by Israel and others for not passing on life-saving medicines to hostages and not visiting hostages held in Gaza. You've called that out as myth or disinformation. Can you just explain what the situation is?
Criticising the ICRC for not accessing hostages is a distraction. It's senseless. And honestly, it's wasting valuable time when we know exactly what the parties need to agree on. And we are telling them what they need to agree on because we know how it works. And if they agree on these steps, we can access the hostages. It is not rocket science. It's not atomic physics. It's very practical steps. If there is will on both sides to do this, we can bring relief. We can save lives. The law is important, but the law is always only as strong as the political will that state leaders, the parties to a conflict attach to the law. They have to want to do it. And if they don't want to do it, if they prefer to pursue total war, and if they prefer to say that total victory is possible, then lives are naturally being sacrificed, and we are left without the possibility to bring the help and protection that we were designed and created for.
You've also, as an organisation, been criticised for not visiting Palestinian detainees. Can you just be clear about the ICRC's position on that issue?
Look, the law, the rules of war are clear in this situation. Israel has clear obligations as an occupying power to grant access for humanitarian assistance when it's necessary, to give us access to detainees. Similarly, Hamas is under a clear obligation to give us access to the hostages and to protect the dignity and the existence of its people. We operate in this space. We operate in the space of the parties agreeing that this law matters and agreeing that they will conduct hostilities in a way civilians are not put under unnecessary harm, not put under harm that can be avoided. And again, both sides have obligations, but Israel is a state party to the Geneva Conventions. It's a legal framework that was created after the Second World War, based on the experience of the Second World War, and we know what that was. Every state in the world is a party to the Geneva Conventions because they contain humane principles and rules that are thousands of years old, that go across all religions, all people, all societies. Everybody understands that it is necessary to protect children from unnecessary suffering.
You and I last talked in Davos. 9 months is a long time in global politics these days. And we met just before Donald Trump took over as president for the second time. What is the relationship between the ICRC and the Trump administration?
We've seen many US administrations. We continue to work with every US administration. Sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's more difficult, sometimes we need to invest time to re-establish channels of communications, and this is happening at the moment. It's happening adequately. We, of course, would like to progress faster, as we want to progress faster with so many countries around the world. But it is working. We continue to operate, and we continue to receive support from the US administration, and this is very important for us.
Sufficient support? I must press you on that. Sufficient support?
It is good support, but we do not receive sufficient support at the moment globally, because you see what's happening on the ground. If people were engaging in a dialogue with us more forcefully and with the necessary political follow-up that is required, then we would see less suffering on the ground.
You've launched a global push to get governments to recommit to the rules of war. But after Gaza, the West Bank, Syria, Sudan and Ukraine, the list goes on. And given the widespread violations of international humanitarian law in these conflict areas around the world, are these rules still meaningful?
Every day we negotiate safe passage for civilians. We bring back fallen soldiers between Russia and Ukraine so that they can be buried in dignity by their families. Parties to conflict cooperate with us. We work with Israel. And bringing back the hostages in 148 cases, this is compliance with the law. And you see what happens when the law is respected. It brings relief to the people. It brings satisfaction to the people and to state leaders. They have to do more of this. It is possible because the law is clear. It just needs to be applied. Now, what we see today is a hollowing out of the law. It's not the violation of the law that is the primary problem. It's the dismissiveness with which these fundamental rules are being treated today.